It was the scariest moment of my life. I'm standing on the edge of a cliff, 1,000-foot drop straight down. It slowly swoops out into a beautiful valley. I'm in my wingsuit. You know, kind of that jumpsuit with the wings on it. Getting ready for my first wingsuit base jump. You just jump off the side of the mountain, catch a breeze, soar like a bird. Now, the hours and hours of training that I had prepared me for this moment, but nothing prepared me as much as the near-death experiences that I had with my childhood friend George. George and I grew up in the neighborhoods of Thornton, Colorado. I admired George. He was always pushing me to go farther, faster, and live more dangerously than I ever did before. I was always trying to keep up with him. One summer, we had a little project to do in his backyard. His dad said, "Hey, I want this pile of wood, these logs, moved from this side of the yard to that side." Now, we could have simply just carried those logs from one side to the other, but no, George and I were more creative than that. I decided I would grab a log and I would throw it to George across the yard. He would catch it and stack it on the other side. So we started this process. It was going great. I grabbed a log and I chucked it, and I realized George wasn't looking at me. And before I could even say or do anything, that split second when George turned, that log just smacked him right in the face. When George came to and realized what had happened, he nearly killed me. I learned that day, you can throw logs on the fire, but you shouldn't throw logs at your friends. One summer evening, we were hanging out in his neighborhood, trolling through, looking for trouble. We came across the local school. We saw a place on the school building where it'd be pretty easy to climb up on top and get on top of the roof. Yeah, this is a great idea. We should do this. So we did. You get on top of the roof and you look out across this flat, long roof. There was these domed skylights, about every 20 or 30 feet. I thought it'd be a great idea to step across the skylights as we walked across the roof. We came to the first one. I stepped across. That was awesome. I'm feeling confident now. A second one, I step across, no problems. I get the third one and I step on it. Yeah, you guessed it, it broke. Thankfully, with my cat-like reflexes, I grabbed the side of the window. One of my legs managed to hang out as well. The other leg's down inside, and I'm looking down at my pending death. George is laughing his head off. He reaches down and pulls me out. We run as fast as we can to get out of there. I learned that day, windows are much better for looking through than falling through. One afternoon, we're hanging out in my neighborhood in Commerce City. I live close to this industrial area. They have these big sand pits. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. I don't know why they dug out these pits, but they fill them with water. It was wintertime. This little pit of water was frozen over. We were checking it out. We took some big rocks and chucked them out on the ice. Held perfectly. We can walk on this ice. It's completely safe. So off we go. We scurry out onto the ice. After a little bit, you kind of hear a little bit longer, you hear a crack. A little bit longer, you hear a crack. We realized we have got to get off this ice as fast as possible. Before I realize it, George is already on the bank. I don't even know how he got there. But before I can reach it, the ice breaks and I fall in. I'm splashing. Oh my God, help me, save me, George! George looks at me, he yells at me, he says, "Peter, stand up!" I'm splashing, I'm gonna die, save me! "Peter, stand up!" So I kind of hear what he says and I put my feet down and I stand up. I'm only about chest deep of water. I might have thought I was going to die, but it didn't happen. I realized that day that, it's just dumb to step on any ice in Colorado that's below 7,000 feet. Like, just don't do that. It doesn't make any sense. Well, there's so many stories I could tell you. The time that I climbed the cottonwood tree at his house. I had a broken arm at the time with a cast and I couldn't get down. Or the time that we were jumping on the trampoline and he shot me so high out of the atmosphere that when I came back in on re-entry, the trajectory changed and I completely missed the trampoline. Or the time the tornado took out the neighbor's house just a block away. Well, all these things prepared me for that day to jump off the side of that cliff. So what happened? Well, I lived. And I learned that I will never go base jumping ever again. Because even though you've had a near-death experience, it doesn't mean you need to go seek it out. Because living is far better than the alternative. And I'm grateful for a friend like George, who would push me out of my comfort zone to face my greatest fears so that I can have the confidence to accomplish anything I want in life. Mr. Toastman.